Happy New Year, friends. Welcome to Mama Mel's Kitchen. I'm going to help you this morning. Go ahead and get all your stuff ready and prepared for your New Year's Day dinner. I kind of slept in this morning a little bit. I didn't party hard last night. We stayed up long enough to watch the New Year, but I think it caught up with me getting up so early in the morning yesterday morning to go help birth that baby. And then yesterday I was on my feet all day doing all kind of cooking and that kind of thing. I went ahead and prepared last night. I decided not to wait till this morning to do anything with my collards because it looked kind of laborious, and it was. I'm so glad I didn't wait till today to do it, but I wanted to show you guys. I went ahead and cooked my collards down last night. You see it, they're dark army green, and I put the fat back in there, and I just kind of cooking in the kitchen. You have got to do it enough to where you're playing around with it and just doing it to your taste, your family's taste. Who's that popping on here? Hey, Stacy, Happy New Year.
I can't get mine to come up.
But I've got my collards on and I'm warming them up. I went ahead and cooked them last night just so I could, you know, if I had to restart things. So anyway, let's put our cornbread together. That's what a lot of you have been messaging me about. Help, please let me see what it looks like. Simply because I know I doubled the recipe and I told you to leave some things out if you double it. So, hey Ellen, good to see you on here. Happy New Year, friend. All right, I've doubled my broccoli cornbread recipe. So I've got my 2 sticks of soft butter in here. We're gonna put all of our kind of wet ingredients in there first. And I've got my eggs, which I really shouldn't be cracking eggs over my thing, should I, Jay?
No, you should not. Kim Skinner.
Kim!
You can tell that story.
Hey, Kim. Y'all, Jay was making a cake over Christmas. A caramel cake. He always makes a caramel cake.
It was the Italian cream, but that's...
Oh, the Italian cream. That's right, that's right. My family was coming over and he was making Italian cream cake. And he was trying to use my KitchenAid mixer. And bless him. You know, he's a man. He's trying to cut some steps to make it quicker and to do it faster and all the things. The mixer was going and he was cracking eggs over it, and all of a sudden he dropped half an egg, the whole, you know, the half with the shell and all inside the mixer, and then he went to go turn the mixer off and it was going choo 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 choo. He turned it on faster. So we were picking shells out of that cake batter, and when he made that, when the cake baked and we flipped it over out of the pan, we could see little shells. We were picking shells out of that cake the whole time we were eating it. But anyway, it had pecans in it, so sometimes I think you could pass for a pecan. But anyway,
Stephanie said caramel cake is what it
hey,
is.
Steph. Is Stephanie on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey,
She said,
Stephanie.
She said the caramel cake is whatever that emoji is with the stars and stuff.
It's awesome. Okay, I've got my... All right, I'm going to start off. This is a double recipe, remember. 2 sticks of butter, soft. I'm putting 6 eggs. The original recipe calls for 4 eggs and 1 stick of butter. I'm going to do 6 eggs right now. If I feel like it might need a little extra moisture, I'll add an egg, but instead of putting 8 eggs in this cornbread, I just couldn't do it. But anyway, last night I went ahead and cut up my onion. Only bad thing about cutting your onion up the night before is, you know, putting it in the fridge, and then your fridge smells like BO the next day. But that's okay.
Allison said, what are you making?
I am making broccoli cornbread, sweetheart. And it is, if you'll look back on yesterday's post, I've got the recipe in the comments. But I'm just putting it together this morning so that y'all can see me doing it. I've got my onion chopped up, if you could see that. Last night I steamed some fresh broccoli. I told you you could use the broccoli in the package from the grocery store that's already chopped, but make sure you thaw it out well and drain it, because you don't want little frozen pieces in your cornbread, because that puts too much water in it. So last night I steamed it, drained it, I'm dumping it out, and I put it in the fridge overnight, I chopped it up. So I'm gonna use that. That's about, it calls for a 10-ounce package. I'm pretty sure this is more than 10 ounces because I have doubled, like I said, double my recipe. Well, that's one thing I want to talk about. Fresh broccoli. Fresh broccoli, if you get fresh broccoli in the store or from wherever, if you have a farmer friend that you get it from, just make sure you cook it in a couple of days of purchasing it or getting it, because when you let broccoli sit in the refrigerator, it starts to turn yellow a little bit. And when it gets to that point, when you cook it, it is bitter as all get out. You don't want that. So when you cook it fresh, it's nice and has that natural sweetness to it, and that bitter taste is not there. Okay, now we've got this huge mixture, can you see, of broccoli and egg and the butter right now, and the onions. And the broccoli can be chunky. It's perfectly fine. I think that much broccoli is going to be just fine. It's going to be a thick, ooey gooey mixture, but that's good. That's what you want. Next is the secret ingredient that nobody understands, but I'm telling you, I don't care if you don't like cottage cheese. You won't even know it's in there, but it'll add a moisture and a cottage cheese doesn't have a cheesy flavor. We're all basing it on like cheddar, but it doesn't have that kind of flavor. It just adds a lot of moisture and texture to it. So I've got a 24-ounce thing of cottage cheese, but this is one that I had open, so I've only used half of it. So I'm going to use the other half. So I'm going to use the entire other half. So that's about 12 ounces. And that's the thing, like I said, this is baking right here. This is baking, but it's not exact baking. You know what I'm saying? It'll turn out just fine. All right, we want to incorporate all that together. And get that fixed up. Y'all, I rolled over one too many times this morning. I looked at my phone and I said, oh my word, it's 10 o'clock. I'm supposed to be helping some folks get some broccoli cornbread together. I got to get going. So I threw my face on and came in here. I hadn't even had my coffee yet. Okay, now we are going, and I've sprayed my 9x13 pan, and I've got my oven preheating now to 400. Now, the next thing is the 2 boxes. This is double recipe. I'm going to remind you. 2 boxes of Jiffy cornbread mix, just the regular Jiffy corn muffin mix. I know this is backwards, sorry. I need to take pictures of all my stuff and then reverse it. So I can show it on.
Jiffy should send you royalties.
Jiffy, hey Jiffy, I'm gonna cook with your stuff, so why don't you send me some stuff? All right. Anyway, no, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not. I know you are. Kidding. All righty. Now is the time. You want to add your cornbread last, and the only thing I can think of, the only reason I can think of that you would add it last is so that your cornbread mix doesn't get too soggy before it gets in the oven and starts cooking.
What could possibly go wrong?
I don't, some of the things that could go wrong, it could be gummy. It could,
how would you
if
fix
it
that?
stays, excuse me, y'all, I haven't had anything to drink or eat this morning, but yet, I guess I need to drink some water. It could get, gummy. I have never messed this cornbread up. Have I? Have I ever messed this cornbread up?
No.
So, anyway, all right, see how thick this is. It is a really thick consistency. It's not runny. Look at it. I don't think it needs any additional eggs, in my opinion. So doubling the eggs would not be necessary. I'm flinging stuff.
What would happen if you did?
If I doubled the eggs, I don't know. I think it would be it would more stiff. The eggs is just a binder. So you got enough binder in there with 6 eggs when you double the recipe. The original recipe calls for 4 eggs. But when I double it, I do not double the eggs.
Shut the pan, you can't hardly see it.
Okay.
Oh, I can tilt it down.
All right, there we go. We're spreading it out in the pan. All right, there we go. All right, now,
You pack it down?
no, I don't pack it down. I just lightly spread it in there. My oven's ready at 400. I'll put that in there. And what did I remember? Remember what I told you yesterday? What do we set our timer to? We set our timer on the lowest range. So my little recipe says 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm gonna set my timer on 25 minutes and then check it. And in just a few, when it goes off, I'm gonna check it. And if it's light brown on the top, and I'm gonna stick my hand in the oven real carefully. Now y'all don't have to do this. You might have to use an oven mitt, pull the thing out, and just barely touch the middle. If it's jiggling, then you want to stick it back in there for 5 minutes. But if it's lightly browned on the top, see, our ovens are different calibrations. I really need to calibrate mine because I know it's not quite right.
What else is on the menu?
What else is on the menu? All right, I got that in the oven. Let me turn this a little bit. I kind of like having this. Stand in my little chair here. All right.
Something boiling.
My black-eyed peas. I let them soak overnight, and now they're in a rolling boil. I just put them on. I let them soak in that salt water with the onion powder and the garlic powder overnight. What you looking for?
I'm looking for some garlic powder.
Right here.
Oh, thank you.
And I use pink Himalayan salt simply because it's got minerals in it that regular salt doesn't have. But I use pink Himalayan salt very, very often in my cooking. Doesn't change the flavor or anything. But I've got my black-eyed peas on the stove with a little piece of fat back in it. I let them come to a boil. And then I'm going to turn the heat down to about number 3. And let that just simmer on a low, medium kind of simmer until they're tender. I don't really know the time. I do know that I put them on right before I went live here, so I put them on about 10:15 and 10:45. They're boiling, and I turned them down, so I don't know. I don't know exact.
20 minutes ago,
Roughly 20 minutes ago. But that's the beauty of working in the kitchen a lot. If you can, if you have time, or make time, if you have the desire to learn more about things in the kitchen, you'll kind of get a feel for how long it takes things and how long it'll take you to get your supper ready, get your dinner ready.
Stephanie's oven cooks hot.
Oh, I bet it does. I bet it does. You have to, that vintage, that 1970s oven that Stephanie's got probably is calibrated correctly, actually. But anyway, okay, the next thing, what else do I have on? Oh, I'm going to fix some rice. But I showed, I don't know if y'all were on here when I was showing my collards earlier. but that's the way they look. I'm not gonna dump them out. They're a dark green. Jay's already taste tested them.
Delicious.
And for my first time doing homemade, cooking my own collards, I didn't make them. God made them. I cook them. For the first time cooking my own collards, I think they taste pretty good. I think they taste pretty doggone good. But, it's whatever you're used to. If you've never had collards before, I'm sure if you go in a fancy restaurant somewhere up in New York where Bobby Flay is cooking them, he's just gonna saute them in a pan with something and some coconut oil and put them on a plate, half cooked that much.
Dolores,
But-
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Dolores.
And Kathy Simon.
Hey, Kathy.
What else
Happy
is on
New
the-
Year, dear heart.
what else
And
is
what
on the
else
menu?
is on the menu? Rice. I'm going to put some rice in the pressure cooker in just a minute. I've got my ham. I need to get my ham in the oven. I got to wash my pan that it goes in. But I bought a 10-pound, just a regular Smithfield 10-pound ham. I opted out this year. I opted out of doing the spiral sliced because the spiral slice was like $10 extra for the same size ham, and I'm like, I can slice my own. I can slice my own ham. I'm not gonna give you $10.
We got barbecue.
We have barbecue pork that Jay barbecued over Christmas holidays, and we keep that in the fridge, so when we pick at it and eat sandwiches off of it for a long time after Christmas, so we're going to have that. And then our ham, our rice, our black-eyed peas, our collards, our broccoli cornbread, and sweet tea. So that's
and
my...
and caramel cake.
And caramel cake. Jay made that caramel cake, and we've got to eat it because we are not wanting to go too far into this new year with all these sweets still in our kitchen. So, who else is on here? Hey, Lahoma, how are you? But anyway, I hope you guys have a very, very, very happy New Year. I hope you had a safe one last night and enjoyed yourself with your family. Hey, Laura, happy New Year to you, dear. And I hope you'll come back because I will be cooking up some things later on this week. I'm going to take a couple of days break, and then I'll probably be back on here maybe Tuesday. And we're going to put some things together for your new year. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day today with your family and your friends. And I hope that I'll see you back here soon. Love you. Thanks for being in my kitchen. Bon appetit. Mwah.